Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play awesome tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is part of the Gauntlet Community's Open Gaming Weekend. It's July 17th, 2020, or in Europe, I believe it would be the 17th of July, 2020. And I'm running a playtest of a game that Jesse Ross and I have been working on called Working Stiffs. It is a undead fighting office dramedy in a slightly near future that's hopefully never actually coming. Please don't let this future come. So we've already made characters. We're to the point where we're going to introduce characters, and I'm going to go from left to right on the character keeper. So Michael,
Yes,
please tell us about your character.
All right, so I am going to be playing Danny Leach, who is a dark-humored slacker. And let's see, what's relevant about him? He likes to make inappropriate jokes in the heat of any situation. Nice. And I figure that oddly, he's also tends to be inclined towards always cutting corners and doing things the easy way, as opposed to what may be the more proper and more productive way, as long as it adheres to all the, adheres to the letter of the employee rulebook, of course. And he may have a penchant of trying to wrangle his coworkers into his time-wasting hijinks. But I prefer to think of it as working outside the box. Anyway, somehow my sense of humor has enamored me to the boss, which is probably the only reason I haven't gotten fired yet. And, it's much the constellation of Molly in HR, who would love to fire me at the first opportunity and put in a actually properly productive employee in my place. So that's the gist of my character.
That is fantastic. What a great rundown. I have such a clear picture of your character. Good job. So next will be Chris. Tell us about your character, Chris.
Sure. My character is Steve Ducey. He is, due to a clerical issue with his university, having to take some time off from school. And this gig is just the means to pay the bills so he can get back to his undergrad program. And so he has been on a few things with this company. He had a short fling with a coworker that did not end well. And so far he has remained on the good side of his boss, but hopefully the office drama won't drag him down.
Look at you guys, too, who are allied with Walter the boss. So you and Izzy, it didn't end well. Did you end it, or did Izzy end it?
Izzy.
And what would she have told her team about why you guys either ended it or broke up, or whatever terms you'd use for it?
I think she would have told them that I think she would say that I just don't fit in well with her friends, and it's a social thing. I just don't. I just don't go to the same kind of parties that she goes to.
Got it. Okay. Nice. That totally makes sense. It gives me a good picture of how Izzy would react towards you. And let's talk a little bit about your keys. What are the things that drive you, that you get experience points from?
Oh yeah, so I picked Key of the Dreamer. When I talk about how my life is better or just around the corner, mark XP, and Key of the Champion. When you unnecessarily turn something into a competition, mark XP.
I love that one. I love that key and use. It is so annoying. It is so appropriate.
I noticed there's a move that sort of goes with that, and so I decided not to take that.
Oh, second place is the first loser? Oh, that's a good point. I'm gonna actually, that's a note. I'm very, very terrible. My handwriting is the worst. Good. Thank you very much, Chris. How long has Steve been working at this office?
I think maybe just a couple of months.
Okay. Sweet. And what is it that you and Walter, like, what's your connection, right? You know, that whole thing of with your boss, there's always this thing that you guys talk about, or some experience, or you've gone to the same school. Like, there's that thing. It's just the.
Yeah, I think we're like from the same neighborhood in town. Like we're.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So like it's, you know, we know some of the same people, sort of thing. Like we're friends of friends, sort of thing.
And I'm going to jump back to Danny, our slacker. What is it that you somehow have impressed the boss? Does he thinks you're funny, or is there something in particular that Danny has done that Walter would say, oh yeah, Danny, he's the so-and-so guy? Or, you know, what is it about Danny that he has grown to think is cool? I guess the question.
Well, I just took a look at the image you selected for Walter Bird, our boss. And he looks like someone who's kind of he doesn't look like someone who copes well with stress. He seems to have a very perturbed look on his face. And I imagine being the boss of this outfit has to be high stress. So I think someone who can just like crack jokes. It's not necessarily the jokes, but just the demeanor I bring, that this isn't in fact a life and death, cataclysmic environment we're always in, somehow calms them down, at least for a little bit while I'm around. So like when I'm not around, he may be, we should fire this guy. But then when he actually gets in my space, I just throw out my vibe, and he thinks maybe we're better off keeping Danny around. So I think that's kind of how I envision the working relationship.
I like that. You're his stress relief. That's good. You're like his walking stress ball. We'll pause just for a moment until Chris is able to return. It looks like he got booted. We'll double check.
How long have you been working on this game?
Year and a half, almost 2 years, but like not actively, because Jesse has done Girl Underground and Trophy Dark and Trophy Gold, and like he's always busy, and like I've been working on my baseball game, and then I did Hit the Streets. So if you were to compress just the time we're actively working on it, probably more like 6 months, but it's stretched over the course of 2 years. Just like kind of, I go, I'm going to put this up for the Gauntlet Community Weekend. And he says, oh yeah, that's great. We should get back to that. So sorry, that's a terrible answer, but it's the truth.
And also you're maintaining the Star Wars run on Saturdays.
Yes, I am. I love.
I'm still waiting for Porg Warren.
Damn, that's good. That's a good idea. See, someone made an Ewok joke, and then all of a sudden David MK came up with a hack for Ewoks, and it was great. Okay, Chris is doing a reset on his router, so we'll just hang tight. And then he ran it. I don't know if you guys saw it or on the calendar, but it sounded great. It's a hack of the Wild Guard. There's this PBTA game that I think John Harper released on his Patreon, and he did a hack of that, which I thought was really clever and interesting. And now I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, he did it, and one of my buddies played in it. And it was like, yeah, this was real cool. So, Wildling Tales, Wildlings. I think that's the game that was originally. Yeah. So, Porg Warren. I'm just gonna write it down.
Seems like it could work with Java in a sand crawler as well.
Oh god, I have a totally different picture of Jawa's competency because of the Mandalorian. Man,
I
Oh my gosh, the Mandalorian is so good.
I've been holding out and subscribe. I know they've got a free trial run, but I'm still holding out until the Marvel shows start getting released. And I just heard that Falcon and Winter Soldier just got delayed. It's not going to be. It was supposed to be released next month, and I heard that was canceled. I mean, not the show, but at least the release date, which is a bummer because.
Yeah, that is a bummer. It's a show I definitely want to see.
Yeah, but once the Marvel shows start coming, I'll sign up and then throw on the Mandalorian in my binge list.
I'll be honest with you. I've really enjoyed the content they have, but from a Star Wars perspective, because I didn't. I really loved their final season of Clone Wars that just finished up a month or so ago. I thought that was great. It was good, and then the last 4 episodes were just like off the cut. They were off the chain, just great.
Oh, okay.
And then I got to watch Star Wars Resistance, which I hadn't seen. That was the CGI series that was on Disney XD. I just didn't have Disney XD, so I didn't really get to see that series. And that was fun. Not great, a little too goofy, but had some really good moments and some interesting characters. They had is it John Mentanelliana? The guy who is like a big D&D nerd guy.
Oh yeah, no, Deathstroke.
Yeah, that guy. Deathstroke.
Yeah.
There, we'll just say Deathstroke. He voices a bounty hunter in it, an Ikitochi bounty hunter, and it's just like every line is like, oh my god, this guy's amazing. Like he was amazing. So bad, so tough. Oh, Locked. Oh crap, that's right. I did lock the movie.
We're not getting Disney Plus here until the fall at the earliest. So.
I've had to go out, like I haven't watched anything on Disney Plus in a month, but I will watch more later at some point. I got in. Hey, welcome, Chris. Welcome back.
Hey.
Sorry, I locked the meeting on you, and I'll just not lock it. It's fine. If other people come, I'll boot them. All right, we had just had Mike had introduced us to our Slacker, and then you talked through the overqualified, and we paused. Now, Anders, if you could tell us about your Thrill Seeker.
Yeah, I'm playing Josh Brostankovic. Thrill Seeker is very much a dude. He's probably only been at the company for a couple of weeks. He's here to build his followers. He's streaming everything he does and just extremely overconfident, just here to do cool stuff like killing zombies or whatever. And he's managed to make friends with Oscar in R&D. Oscar pretends to be really into his videos. He's maybe seen 5 minutes of one and just laughed at how stupid Josh seems to be. But he's willing to test all the weird equipment that Oscar comes up with. So they're getting along. But he came on a bit strong on Darla, so she does not like it. She would probably be perfectly happy to see him get maybe not eaten alive, but if he doesn't come back from a mission, she won't be sad.
Hey, sorry, I was talking on mute. So what I heard is, Josh, when you've just been with the company for a few weeks, you came on strong to Darla and she wasn't having it. So that's why she's an enemy of yours. She thinks you're kind of a dumb jock guy, bro guy. Mm-hmm. I like that. And Oscar pretends that he likes your either YouTube or TikTok or Insta or whatever that you recommend to him. But really, he's just happy that you try out the weird gadgets that he makes. That sounds fantastic. Yeah. So the way that The way the Working Stiffs play proceeds is that once we know who the characters are, we start off in the morning and we get a scene of you outside of work. And it's really just a setup of like, what's your life outside of work like? Brief scene is kind of that beginning of movie thing as the credits music is going on and we see you before the Ghostbusters go to the office kind of deal. We get to see a little bit of your life outside. Then you arrive at work. We might see a little bit of what your relationships at work are. And then Walter, the boss, pulls everybody together for the morning huddle. And during the morning huddle, he makes whatever announcements are pertinent and will pass the baton to, maybe Todd in sales or Molly in HR, and then we'll talk about whatever is important from their perspective. Then, this is weird. Sorry, I think it's like the sunlight is making my blue look green. Anyway, it's like you can see through my chest. It's weird. After the morning huddle ends, then you guys will pick a job. And that's the new basic moves at the top of the basic moves tab on the character keeper. You guys figure out how you want to pick the job. One person will roll the dice. Then we see if the job you decide you want is the one you get. And then once you get that job, you'll know a little bit about what you're expected to do. And if you notice, your stats aren't awesome, right? Everybody has like a 2 here, but generally everything's zeros and ones. So the resource pool is how you can bump up the ability to be successful. So you start with a resource pool of 0. And once you've gotten a job, then you can go to different departments and try to, fill out some paperwork, fill it out in triplicate, or you can watch some training videos. It's just something to build up your resource pool. Each of you will get an opportunity to try to increase the resource pool. Then you go out on your job. You go out on your job until the job is done, and then you do a cleanup, and then we figure out what you do after your shift is over. That's the process of play. Usually it all happens within one session. We will see if we do more or less. That's Working Stiffs. It's monotonous because work can be monotonous. It is a fine Tuesday morning, not a manic Monday. It's just a Tuesday morning when we begin our game. It is, Chris, what's the season?
Fall.
It's a Tuesday morning in fall. Mike, in the fall, what do the temperatures get up to in the city where we are located?
I'm going to say that it still gets pretty hot until Halloween. So I'm going to say that the temperatures, it could still get up as high as, we'll say even as high as, I'm going to say actually it's not that bad. It's only 65 because in this world we're envisioning, I'm going to say that global warming took a little bit of a nosedive since with the slaughter of mass portions of the population.
You say 65?
It's actually not that. Yeah, it's not that hot still.
Anders, it's 18 degrees Celsius.
Thank you.
Around 80. No, it's okay. I've learned. I play on Sundays with some Europeans, and I have a little Google cheat sheet that I use. Awesome. So it's in the 60s, and you just tickle the thing. If it's in the fall, we're gonna say it's in October. It's just like a week from Halloween. Halloween, friends. Can you guys do a rename on your thing? So like if you click on the upper right hand corner on Zoom, there's a period of ellipsis, and if you click on the drop down, you can rename. It'll just help me to remember your character name because I keep looking at the Zoom screen. So yeah. Danny and Steve, Steve and Josh are pretty new. So maybe you've only heard this from Darla and Izzy, but in the extermination world, Halloween is your Black Friday. It's the worst because the undead activity always spikes. Full moons, they suck. Halloween is the worst. So, we will check in. We'll check in with Josh, our thrill seeker. What time in the morning on a Tuesday in October does Josh wake up before? By the way, you have to be at work by 8:05. If you're Danny, 8:15. So what time would Josh normally wake up?
Josh is up at 6 a.m. He's doing pull-ups, he's doing push-ups, he's streaming everything. He's talking to the camera all the time. He's having his juice, his breakfast, and sometimes you see his long-suffering roommate wandering past in the background, just looking miserable that he has to share an apartment with this really annoying person. But they're both really broke, so they don't have much choice. It's a crappy apartment, but Josh has put up a kind of pull-up bar in the hallway to the front door. So his roommate is always like squeezing past him because he's in the way. Yeah,
That's nice. That's nice. So you get up in the morning. I like that. So you've got a long-suffering roommate. We got to give this roommate a name because I am amused by them already.
Yeah. Yeah. We already have a Steve. Rob, maybe. Robert. He insists
Robert.
on being. He insists his name is Robert, but Josh always calls him Rob.
Sweet. And I think your roommate is a gig worker, right? He doesn't have like one job. He's got a bunch of different jobs, all app driven, that kind of stuff. So he's part of the gig workers, which the apocalypse didn't make gig work go away, unfortunately. Sweet. That sounds awesome. Well, what time after Josh does his morning routine, he's got, I assume it's a good hour. Does he normally roll in on time, that kind of thing, or is he late?
He's probably on time, not early, but not like he's consistently like 5 minutes late. So it's not enough to get written up or anything, but still annoying to anyone who really cares you're there on time.
Nice. What about Steve? Steve Ducey, our overqualified. You guys show up at 8. What time does Steve get up in the morning? What's his home life like?
I think Steve does not get up early. It's sort of a mad rush in the morning to grab like a cereal bar or a Pop-Tart or something, go catch the bus across town to work, but always tries to show up early. So he's always rushing, but ends up getting there a few minutes early and hanging out with Walter to smooth things over.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You guys just talk about stuff going on at the neighborhood or old times at the hood.
Yeah,
perhaps.
yeah.
Nice. So that's interesting. What is Steve's place like?
I think he has like a small apartment, maybe with with the roommate, maybe two. So it's a little bit crowded and cramped. There's not a whole lot of open space to it. There'd be a lot of boxes of books and stuff like that around. And
interesting. So he's disconcertingly clean, but his apartment's a little bit on the messy side. Whose fault is that?
I think it's his fault. Like he put so much into this facade that other things are starting to crack.
Let's say that your roommates are Abraham and Elias. What do you think about that?
Sounds awesome.
I think Elias is a writer. Abraham. What kind of job does Abraham have? Can't make a whole lot of money. I don't know.
He might be a student, so maybe he just has like a tutoring gig.
Sweet. So he got this apartment because it's near college or because it's cheap?
Both. And I imagine maybe that adds a little bit to the apartment situation. He's got a lot of experiment stuff happening there, so he's models and equipment and stuff like that he's always moving in and out for various projects.
Not the sexy kind.
I guess that depends on your point of view.
Nice. Good reply. Sweet. What about Danny? What's your morning like?
I think he is habitually late. It's anywhere from like half an hour to an hour. But and even then he still rushes all the time just to get to work, just because he tries to get up as late as possible and still not get fired. That's usually because he sleeps it all out. You know, he stays up until all hours of the night.
What's he do? Staying up all I mean, you're not at the office. What's he doing?
Probably playing video games. He has his own place, but it's a tiny coffin of a place. Perhaps even the basement of someone else's unit. So the tininess is how he pays for how he still manages to be able to afford it on his own without roommates.
Oh, nice. I imagine like he's subletting a basement from somebody, and
yeah, but he still manages to have a massive game collection, so that makes it all the tinier.
It's got like IKEA shelves along every wall.
Yes, exactly.
Games. Nice. And I assume like the reason he's online gaming at those hours because number one is fun, and number two, maybe he like hooks up with people who are in different time zones. So
also he writes it off on his taxes as job training.
Job training
with all the zombie shooters.
You guys roll in. Josh and Steve, you guys are on time-ish enough. When you enter the office, we will ask some questions now to learn about our office. So if you head to the office tab, you'll see. The office is a 3-story building that sits very near the wall. The main floor of the building has some amenities. The basement has the extermination lockers. That's the lockers where your coveralls, that kind of stuff are. It also has showers because gross work, and equipment storage. The second floor has rows of cubicles for the rest of the staff and an office for your boss because sometimes he has to discuss HR matters. So I will, anyone who wants to throw out the answer can. What did this office used to be? A call center, an accountant's office, a design firm, a smack house, or it just sat vacant for years?
I like design firm because I imagine that would be the most the least usable in an apocalypse world kind of setting. How does everyone else feel? Because smack houses, I mean, the benefit is obvious. You can't get rid of the smack houses.
That totally makes sense to me.
Okay. Used to be a design firm, but yeah, they went out of business or they vacated the office because the wall was built literally a half block away. All right, we'll start with let's see if Josh a few weeks and Steve's a few months, then has Danny been here the longest? Your slacker has the most tenure of your team? That's insane.
Yeah, I feel like I've just crossed my 1 year mark to violating everyone's expectations, especially my own.
I like it. So Danny, since you've been here the longest, you get to pick. There are two things about The Office, and if hopefully you guys are all on the Office tab. There are two things that are okay about The Office, and two things that seriously suck. Pick one thing that's either okay or seriously sucks.
I think parking's okay because it did used to be a design firm, so I figure they would have wanted to locate next to where there'd be convenient parking for all the highfalutin professional types that used to work there.
Nice.
And I get to pick one more detail.
Yeah,
I think because of that, where to eat would probably be pretty. Actually, no, they're. Yeah, where to eat too. Well,
Once you pick something that sucks.
Yeah, that's a good idea. What does suck? I think. Oh boy. I hate to answer this, but let's say the HVAC sucks, which breaks my heart because I'm such an air conditioning baby.
Nice. And when you say it seriously sucks, is it just underpowered so it never gets cold enough, never gets hot enough, or is it on and off, like it goes off all the time, or is it one of those where procurement is like locked it down where nobody can override the HVAC and it's never good enough because they're cutting costs?
We never bring samples home, do we? Like we never have to refrigerate samples of zombies or anything, do we?
I mean, Oscar asks for that, but it's not exactly above board.
Okay, let's say this. If Oscar in R&D is asking for that, let's say it's great for his storage purposes, but because it's the HVAC has been jerry-rigged to his specifications, it sucks for everyone else.
Okay.
So basically the best AC is for the people who aren't alive.
Not set for humans. Awesome. Josh, you may choose something that's okay or something that seriously sucks.
And the ones we don't pick, they are just...
They're just whatever, not worth talking about.
Yeah, okay. Not sure. There's seriously sucks. There's no places to eat nearby, and the microwave. There's like one working microwave,
and it smells like fish.
Yeah. And we don't know what Oscar uses it for when we're not using it for food.
Oh God, that's terrifying. I love it. All right, well, Steve, what's something that's okay about The Office?
I'm gonna go with enough space because of it being a design firm. It's probably got like a lot of work on its flow and whatever.
Nice. The flow's good. they've thrown in cubicles, but it wasn't really designed for cubicles. There's still lots of walkway space. I think they've got copious amounts of bathrooms, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I like that.
We've still got all that fancy furniture like saddle chairs and that sort of thing that no one knows how to sit on properly.
Yeah, yeah.
I could even see like the building having something architecturally interesting about it, like
Ooh, like a water feature or some kind of.
yeah, like
But if I am paid designed it.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, I imagine that there's one storage closet that has all the fancy chairs because nobody knows how to actually sit in them. They just look cool. And so they just shoved them all in and then moved in a bunch of rolly chairs, that kind of stuff. Sweet. So you guys, Steve and Josh, come in around 8. And the first thing that you notice is the smell of fresh baked donuts. They have been here for just a few minutes, but a lot of the best ones have already been claimed. You see that the Extermination Lee and Izzy and Darla are all standing around a couple of boxes of these donuts. Are not like, they're not a chain. There's some donut place, like homespun donut place that we'll say Todd brought it in. Todd in sales, he brought it in. He occasionally will just stop by there on his way in, gets a deal and gets a few dozen. So Izzy's just, let's see here as I remember who our office affairs. Izzy is sitting there. What is your favorite, Steve? What is your favorite donut? Like, is it a jelly filled? Is it a cruller?
I think it's like a chocolate covered donut.
Izzy's eating the chocolate covered donut slowly, enjoying it. It's the only one.
Thanks, Izzy.
Oh, it's good. It's real good. It's like a lemon.
I'm gonna go over and see what else is left in the box.
There's like a raspberry filled and a lemon and a bear claw. Josh comes in. I mean, this is super fattening stuff, Josh. You probably don't want anything. Darla's like, hey, I saved you the calories, buddy. She takes a bite out of her powdered. It's like a cinnamon powdered donut. But it's one of those, like, everyone will gather around and then make awkward conversation. I think that since he brought it, Todd will stay near so that people can thank him. And Jan in procurement takes one and then takes a napkin and takes an extra and wraps it in the napkin, even though not everyone's had a donut. She just takes an extra for later. Maybe it was Josh's donut. And I think Eduardo will probably, spark up a conversation about soccer or something. Is that a conversation that Josh or Steve participates in? Do you watch soccer? Do you care about soccer? Is that just an Eduardo thing?
Maybe. I mean, Josh probably follows all the sports balls. So, yeah, he probably has a lot of very wrong opinions about soccer.
Is it not manly enough for him, or is it like he doesn't understand the rules?
I think he has a lot of opinions on what teams are good and how they should be playing and all that sort of thing.
Oh, so he's like highly opinionated. Okay.
Yeah. Very opinionated, and he has no clue what he's talking.
Nice. Cool. What about Steve? How does Steve handle? I mean, this is Eduardo and legal, so.
I think Steve has more of like less of a following sports, but like, oh, he knows something about sports. So he's like trying to pepper in some sports trivia into the conversation.
So he's not actually having a conversation, but he's throwing words in.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, like, you know, this team at this year went to the world championship, and you know, whenever something kind of comes close to something he knows about, he throws out some trivia for it.
That's great. Cool. So then I think, Danny, you come rolling in as Steve is sharing yet another tidbit about some soccer team from the 70s. And yeah, Danny, you get to see that. Yeah, there's a lemon. There's a lemon-filled donut still
Excellent.
left.
Oh, I dive right for that, like a hunting hawk.
Todd says, "Yeah, I picked it up. You know, I picked up donuts for you guys. Enjoy."
Cargo.
Hey, it's no problem. You know, teamwork makes a dream work or whatever. And Walter. Yeah, Danny, you're too late. You missed out on all the good donuts.
I'm happy. Lemon filled is one of my favorites. I'm all good.
Nice. So your happiness seems to make Molly a little unhappy. She makes a note that you're enjoying the lemon. You have a feeling that the lemon donut will not be there next time.
Mm-hmm.
Walter says, "All right, everybody. Let's I know everyone's enjoying your donuts, but we need to get the morning huddle going. All right. We'll just do it here. That's fine. It's fine. As you guys know, next week's Halloween, so there'll be no time off starting from Wednesday until after Halloween. Not this Wednesday. He looks over at Molly. Next Wednesday. So keep that in mind. Don't even bother giving me any requests, because I'm gonna deny it. You guys know, you folks are new. Halloween, pretty rough for the office. So
I have a question about that. Is that because the undead actually get livelier? Like does the timing of the solstice actually have an effect on Seed for Afterlife, or is it strictly a matter of like people are just get right, like humans just get more riled up around that time just because?
Oscar says, "Oh, you know, I've read a number of papers on that. Actually, we believe it's kind of a mixture of all of the above. Like, of course, there are people who believe, so there's more false reports. However, overall, the aggregate year over year is that there is more actual activity. So it's hard for us to just blow it off. That's why you guys have to work kind of back to front, and there is OT." And that's when Walter jumps in and says, "That's right. We've decided, we actually got a little dispensation, worked around the budget, and I am going to be able to offer a little bit of overtime starting Wednesday of next week. So no OT today, no OT tomorrow, no OT this week, guys. Don't mess around, Danny." And he laughs like, you know, "Oh, you're messing around, Danny. You're a funny guy, Danny."
Note to self: don't do it today. What I can do next Wednesday.
But definitely OT open for you guys. In fact, yeah, we'll talk more about that as we get closer to Halloween. All right, Molly, you had something you wanted to cover with the team, and Molly says, "Well, as you guys know, it's October, so enrollment for your benefits has begun," and that's when Izzy says, "We don't have any benefits." "That's not true. You know that you have the high deductible plan that you have access to. And if you want to pay into the savings account, you're welcome to. Izzy, if you want to talk about this at my office later, my cubicle, then you're more than welcome. But for everybody else, enrollment season, we have until Halloween, and you know how hectic it gets next week. So you might as well take care of it now. I do have a naughty list of who hasn't filled out their benefits. please don't make me come to your to have that conversation. I know that you've got a lot going on. We all do. But if you just carve out a good 15, 20 minutes out of your day, then you can take care of the enrollment. The website has been improved. The user interface is much easier. You can make your selections 5 minutes tops. Read through the documentation. If you need pamphlets, I've got the pamphlets on all of the healthcare plans and the changes that have been made. Any questions?
Do we have the option of just repeating last year's settings, or are there new plans that we actually have to select?
Yeah, no. So we decided the corporation has gone with different distributors this year. And so all of the healthcare plans are generally the same, but the selections are slightly different. So there's no way that we can migrate over. You can't just, you're going to have to go in and read carefully. And again, if you've got any questions about the changes, you could check the pamphlet. There is a little brochure that was that I took part in helping design with corporate that walks through the primary changes from your health benefits from last year to this year. So no, Danny, you can't just roll them over. I'm sorry. And really, this is important. This is one of the most important benefits that you have. So it's important to read through it. And Walter says, yeah, thanks, Molly. Thanks. All right. Don't forget, guys, it's Stress Down Friday. We're trying this again. Please stay within dress code for the dress down. If you have any questions, read your employee handbook. If you have any questions after that, you can ask me, but I'm just going to refer to you to the handbook. Short skirts cannot be too short. No showing of the cleavage area. He kind of does a slow glance over to Izzy and Darla. And they both just shock. Okay. Jobs are posted on the board, teams. So go ahead and get at it. And thanks, everybody. Have a good Tuesday. And then he heads off to his office.
All right, let's get to the board, I guess.
All right.
Is there a lot of bustle and hustle?
Yeah, people are headed back to their cubes. There's a quick conversation about Jan and procurement having taken an extra donut, but nobody calls her out. But you can tell that Todd's like, you didn't really need to take that. So the job board has a number of jobs, but you get to use a group to pick which of the job types you're most interested in. I'll do a quick screen share because I can. So the 4 job types at current are cleanup, which is there's a nest of undead or the aftermath of some trouble. You have to go there and clear it out. Scouting, heading either outside the wall to gather information, clear paths of the like. Fetch quest, going to get something of import and bring it back, usually to the office. Escort duty, protecting someone or something during travel through dangerous territory. And then here, the departments needed. These are the people that you can do your fill it out in triplicate move with in order to obtain resource pool. So it's good to know if you have allies in either of those departments that are listed. And then the other thing is, if you're like, oh God, all these people hate me, you can watch a training video, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So which of the 4 job types are you guys interested in?
I think Danny would be most interested in scouting because it would probably provide the most opportunities for slacking off. All those other duties have like real concrete goals, which means there's a concrete amount of work you have to do. Anyway, that's what Danny, that's Danny's input.
It does mean you have to go outside the wall, which is much more dangerous usually.
That's a good point. That is much more dangerous. Sure.
Yep. Just making sure you're aware.
Oh, I'm aware.
Josh is all about the danger, so he's definitely into scouting, and it will help him with Oscar as well. Probably have something he wants picked up out there.
Hey, and Josh, just so you're aware, when you head too far outside of the city, you lose reception. So streaming becomes challenging sometimes.
I can record it and upload it later.
There you go.
I think Danny's going to change his answer to fetch quest, because maybe that has the best opportunity for slacking. Because once you got it, well, what's the work? You just turn around and go back the way you went. So yeah, definitely fetch quest.
What about deuces?
Uh,
I mean, you're the overqualified. You're the one who's everybody looks to, right? Because Walter says so.
yeah. Oh man. I think he'd be into an escort duty.
Oh my gosh, everybody wants something different. There's only one role for this, friends. So whoever wants to make the role can do it. Who snatches the job off of the board?
Danny or Steve, I think. Josh isn't that. He doesn't care that much.
Yeah, I feel like Steve's the same way. I think Steve sort of.
Steve, the overqualified, is laissez-faire about something? What? Okay.
All right, fetch quest it is.
All right, go ahead. Now, when your boss updates the board and you have to pick a job, say how. You try and finagle what you want and roll with that stat.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so let me just go back to my character sheet again to refresh myself with the stats and what my stats are. Okay, how can I justify this as weird? Could you explain again what weird means in this game's context?
It's a great question. I actually thought I did a thing, but I may not have. Okay, I did. Yay. So weird.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. Did I not? Oh, it's the description for tough. I did it twice. Weird is your ability to show how in touch you are with the supernatural. It's also your ability to wig people out by acting odd and breaking social norms.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, let me. In that case, yeah, I think I'm going to. Let's see. How can I parlay weird into this sort of thing? What would?
So you're interested in fetch quest? I'll just tell you that fetch quest seems to interest. You hear Darla and Izzy chatting, and Lee is kind of leaning over and about to snatch that off of the board. So that'd be the person you could try to finagle. So go ahead and tell us how you're trying to be weird about this.
Oh, I know. So the rival, who's looks like he's who looks like they're leading in. I'm gonna just go. I'm just gonna like watch and just go. Ooh, I heard about that. Whatever that. What's it that the job board is talking about? Yeah, it's. I hear that the zone they want you in. And I just basically make up this infestation, this new type of zombie that, or like a parasite that that latches onto the body through the anal cavity, and that's how they zombify. I just try to come up with a really gross out, the grossest, least pleasant possibility of infection I can come up with in order to dissuade our rival from selecting that, from pulling that.
Okay, Slacker, that's pretty darn weird. Yeah, it's how attuned you are with the supernatural you are, and how awkward you can be socially. Go ahead and roll 2d6 plus 2.
All right, using the roll for your party. Okay, I'm not sure that it actually did anything because I've got this. The numbers didn't change. I find this happens a lot with. I have this experience with roll for your party, and I always wonder. Okay,
go ahead and roll 2 new dice. We'll try
excellent, that. Thank you. So I just so I should submit and then roll those dice.
Yeah, so you can either put a 2 to the left of the d6 or the d6p. Hit submit, and you should see some dice drop in. And if I need to make a new room, I'll make a new room.
Okay. So there are my new dice.
Bam!
Go ahead. Yeah, I know. It's better. Unfortunately, I have to roll this again. So
No,
reroll.
no, that counts.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, it's giving you a random number. So
That's
you
true.
got a 10.
All right.
So
A 12, actually.
Exactly, a 12. On a 10 plus, both are true. You get the type of job you want, and you get a resource point for your pool.
Hooray.
So you talk about the anal cavity thing, and I think, I think that's like
If it depends for everyone.
more. Yeah, that's more than Izzy can handle. So like, she says, yeah, take, yeah, you got it. Go ahead. And Lee's like, you sure? Yeah. He just take it. Just take it. Cool. So you guys have chosen the fetch quest. Fetch quest. Go get something and bring it back. So for the fetch quest, we'll say that rival extermination team and the boss are the two people that you can easily get resource pool from. Oscar, the link to the okay, I'll just create a new room. This was an older room and it worked the other day, but I will give you guys a new room. We'll just do that. Hopefully that works for you. Still working for you, Anders? Did that one work? The Heartily Sure Fish?
No. There's something wrong with the proxy server, but everything else seems to work. But it's
Okay.
fine. If someone else can get in, they can roll for me. That's fine.
I know of another website. Let me link you to that real quick. Try the Roll Dice with Friends, Andrew. See if you can get into that. I just linked it. Roll Dice with Friends, working stiffs.
No, that's not working. Maybe there's something else wrong. Weird. Everything else seems to be working. No, there are other connection issues. It's maybe that Zoom is taking up all the bandwidth.
Okay.
But
well, if you have physical dice, or if you want someone else to roll for you, however works
someone
best
else
for you.
can roll. That's fine.
Okay, cool. We're good. Let's then talk about your fetch quest. You, Oscar has put in a request. When you look at the date for it, the request is from 3 weeks ago. It is out of SLA. He has requested for some equipment from Sector 10, Sector 10's office. Sector 10, that office has actually been shut down. They were overrun, and so that office has been officially closed for a few months. And evidently, Oscar found out that there was some equipment that wasn't cleared out, and so he wants you guys to go get it. That's going to be your work. You're headed to Sector 10.
Is that within the city?
It is within the city, butted up right against the wall on the northern side.
And shutdowns are clearly dangerous.
Yeah. There was actually a breach in the wall. Sweet. So this is the point where you guys get to each on an individual basis or together. Either fill it out in triplicate, or you can watch a training video. Now, the way that it works, if you're getting help from someone, is that you'll get if you make the roll, you get a +1 for every teammate who's helping you on resource points. Helping people is the move called Hang In There, and that's on row 90 of the basic moves on the left-hand side. When you spout some motivational poster BS to encourage a co-worker, you roll plus cool, and based on those results, you can either give somebody a reroll, a +1, or help them clear a condition. By the way, there may be a few times as we proceed, okay, there will be a few times when I hand out conditions, and that may not seem terribly fair. Number 1 is a play test. Number 2, the world is cruel now. So, mostly number 1. Let's start with Deuces. What do you want to do to try to get some resource pools so you can do your damn job?
So I guess I want to go and talk to Walter. Let's see.
Sweet. So you walk into Walter's office. The door was open. You catch him closing down Minesweeper. And he quickly turns on his screensaver, locks the screen. It's pictures of his kids on a lake. Deuces.
Hey, Walter. We're getting ready to head out in a few minutes, and I just want to stop by and.
Oh! What'd you pick up? What job are you guys working today?
We're heading over to Sector 10 for north side.
Ooh, yeah. Josh talked you into that one, huh?
You guessed it.
Can you believe a water main took out a whole office?
That doesn't seem plausible. I guess we'll have to go check it out and see what's going on.
Yeah, he's got that item list. He was very specific about some of those things. I can't believe that the office corporate hasn't already fetched it, but hey, I don't have to requisition it. So it's kind of a win-win, buddy. Good luck.
Thanks. Would it be possible for us to rummage around some in that storeroom and grab a few things? Would it, just to help us out and make sure we get back everything we need?
It sounds like you're sweet talking him a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and roll plus cool. Let's see how it goes.
Which dice thing do I use?
Any one of the six. No. Let's go ahead and go back because we've realized that it was potentially so that one.
Especially strong font.
Yes, and I'm muting myself because my wife needed to use the printer.
Simple text file. Okay. Let's see. All right. What was that?
Looks like a 9. You're rolling plus cool.
Yeah.
On a 7 to 9, you get what you need eventually. You add 1 to the resource pool. You didn't have any teammate helping you. And you get to choose 1. The thing you need is a bit unreliable or problematic, or you have to steamroll, embarrass, or blame someone in your office to get it, or you owe someone in your office big time for helping you.
Oh yeah, those are all interesting. I'm gonna say it's unreliable.
Nice. So what did you pick out? And oh, by the way, so resource pool is like, we keep it vague. It's like a little inspired by Blaze in the Dark, the idea of like, you're not going to say it's one particular thing. So that question I just started to ask, I'm striking it.
Yeah.
Just at any point when you draw from resource pool, if it's a thing, we may add in that thing is just a little unreliable, problematic, or something like that. But we'll keep that as a note in our back pocket. So now your resource pool goes up to a 2. That's on the team tab. Cool. Danny, step away. So we'll check in with Josh. What would you like to do, Josh?
Yeah, so just so I understand this correctly, the people we can talk to now are is the boss and the other extermination team, right?
You can talk to anyone you want, but if you want to get a resource pool, then you need to talk to rival team and the boss.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure Josh has realized that Darla just isn't that into him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to go to her and say, yeah, you picked up this easy job. He doesn't care really what job they picked. He just assumes they got something cushy. And yeah, so maybe we could borrow some of your stuff. We're doing this fetch job. It's going to be awesome, but we may need some extra firepower,
And Darla is like leaning against one of the cubicle walls and tapping away on her phone. And you're chatting with her, talking about this, and she says, "You're headed to Sector 10?" Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Yeah, there's a reason we didn't take that job, buddy. Good luck.
yeah,
Actually,
but
I don't mean that. I don't mean that.
we can
Don't.
handle it. And it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be cool.
Yep. So, are you trying to sweet talk her, even though you don't, or you just?
I think
Yeah.
so.
I think so too. Seemed like it, and actually, you are
Yeah.
pretty cool. So let's see if you win out here. Go ahead and who do you want to roll for you?
It doesn't matter. I've tried to get in, but there's not.
Okay.
Okay.
You want Danny or you want Steve to roll for you?
Danny can roll for me.
All right.
Got the most experience.
Roll 2d6, person with the most experience, you slacker, with your 1 year anniversary coming up. Dang it, Walter should have announced that. Oh man, missed opportunity. Should have announced that at the huddle. Oh no, it's because Molly didn't put your name on the list.
Right. Plus, I don't like that kind of recognition anyway.
It's not really about what you like when it comes to recognition for a year.
Look,
Good
someone made
for
it a
morale.
year. That could happen to you too. Feeling that false sense of endurance. So, am I using the original World for Your Party link?
Yes, you please use the especially strong fawn.
Oh, okay. That's a different. Okay. Oh yeah, there are my dice right there. Reroll selected. I've generated the same numbers and the exact same dice. So
All right,
if you want to take that, I rolled an 8.
go ahead and roll
Just-
two
just-
fresh ones.
Okay, so just
I think
basically,
you roll 2 fresh ones, and we'll just clear dice every time.
yeah, that
I think
sounds
that
good.
seems to work.
Sure. Okay, now I've rolled a 7. Depending
Plus
on
2's 9.
yes. Okay, cool.
Cool. So with a 9, your resource pool goes from 2 to 3. However, you get to make a choice, Josh. Is it the thing you need is a bit unreliable or problematic? You have to steamroll, embarrass, or blame someone in your office to get it, or you owe someone in your office big time for helping you.
I'm probably going to blame Steve because he's kind of a douche, and so I'm going to say, yeah, he broke our generator for the truck or whatever, and kind of need some spare parts, and he doesn't know.
Nice. Then Darla, you're chatting with Darla. Izzy comes in when she hears you mention Steve's name, and then this conversation just becomes a insult Deuce's conversation as Izzy claims that the Deuce's is like he kisses like a fish. And she gets like it's not comfortable at all, Josh. It's way oversharing as she's just really laying into Deuces, and you have to kind of listen in and then extricate yourself when you find the moment to escape.
You're just going to be seeing the Deuce's kissy face all mission.
Like a fish. Like a fish. Sweet. So I think Danny, you need to do some stuff here. What do you want to do?
Oh, I am absolutely watching a training video. I'm not messing with.
Oh, that's awesome. So when you're sick of the office politics and don't want to deal with coworkers,
which is me on day 1,
fill it out. Just watch a training video. Does not require a role, but there are only so many of them, so you need to keep track of your training courses.
Yes, and long term, this will bite me in the butt. But
zombie sharks.
Absolutely. Yeah, this looks hilarious. I'm gonna, and I watch it during my lunch break, and I'll probably misty it the whole time, but hopefully, I'll presume that enough of it rubs off on me that will justify the resource pool point.
So and when you use a resource pool on the point, it's up to you to decide when one of those pools came from something you learned in the training video, and you should describe what was in the video.
So in a way, I have to justify it to use it as my bonus point.
That's the hope. Yeah. So your resource pool goes up to a 4. That's pretty great, guys. One thing I want to direct your attention to. At the end of when you go on a job, there is a thing called cleanup. It is on row F, as in Frank, of the basic moves. F14 is where it starts. You think you finish the job, start cleaning up the mess, then you pick somebody from the team and they roll plus unused pool. And so if you use up all of your resource pool, you're rolling flat. If you have some left over up to +3, then you can roll up to +3. And within that, you can make some choices, and then you can potentially save some of the unused resource pool to use it to buy office upgrades. And if you check the office tab, there are a few things that you can buy. Not super pertinent during a one shot, but I just wanted to highlight it, especially for you to think about the job in it, or the game in its totality. You have finished up your resource pool section. You guys have all the stuff you need. Here's the question I have. If any of you want to drive, you may use your own vehicle. If you don't want to put your car at risk and you don't want to use public transit, I will require you to use a resource pool to use the company car or company truck. I'm going to kind of default to our overqualified when I ask these questions. Deuces, how are you guys getting to Sector 10?
Deuces does not have a car. He took the bus in, so we're gonna take a company car.
All right, your resource pool is now a 3. We are at the halfway point here, friends. So as you guys get into the company car, I think the company car it's like a pickup truck. So then you get to have the conversation of there are 3 of you. Is someone going to squeeze in the middle, or is that person going to ride in the truck bed in the back? That's the conversation you get to think about in your head. We're going to take a break. It's 36 after right now. Let's just take around 10-ish minutes. And then we'll meet back up and we'll pick up with you guys arriving at Sector 10's closed down building. See you guys in a bit. See, I'm no longer in the golf shirt. Number one, because it was freaking me out that in number two, you guys are in that out in the field. So hold on, my wife needs. You're welcome. All right. Welcome back. So, if you guys remember, it was like before 10 by the time that you had morning huddle, moved around the office, gathered equipment, dressed in overalls. Oh, cool background. And then head out. For some reason, each of you, during the time from the end of getting your job and working throughout the office and arriving at the building from Sector 10, each of you have gained a condition. Conditions are on row 16 of the team tab. It's a drop down. It says when directed, choose a condition here. I'm directing you now. So take a look at the conditions. If you are like, I would rather just look at them without the drop downs, you can go to the keys and conditions tab to the far right, and it talks about each of the conditions.
What time did the workday start? At least for
workday. I mean, for everyone else, it started at 8, Danny.
Right. Probably not time for my mid-afternoon nap then. You said it was 10, right?
I mean, it could be a little bit later if you talked them into getting an early lunch or whatever.
When am I? I bet I'm tired anyway.
Okay.
It's like that. That's right. That one of the interesting things is that conditions actually give you a bonus to certain moves.
Yes.
And for me, it's act as bait, which makes sense.
You look slower.
And take it all in. Is that the basically? Yeah, it's the suss out a situation.
It is.
Move.
It's a little bit of the open your brain. It's a little bit of it's your roll plus weird and ask questions.
I think
Cool.
Josh rode in the back of the pickup, but he got a bit car sick.
That's awesome. That's so good.
He absolutely will not admit this, obviously, but he's not at his best.
You get a +1 to take it all in. Sweet. And then, oh, Chris? You're still muted.
It just seemed awesome that the thrill seeker got car sick in the back.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm glad I didn't have to talk you into getting into the pickup joke.
No, he did not want to squeeze in with up front. And no, it's cool. I'll ride in the back. It'll be awesome. And
It'll look cooler for your stream.
Yeah. He was like standing up and streaming everything. But
yeah, his selfie stick going.
Yeah.
Here's the question: Did you throw up on screen? Did you do it for the clicks, or did you not?
No, probably not. That would be that. He's trying to look cool. He's not like doing the dumb stunts. That's not how he sees it anyway. But the road got a bit bumpy and he got a bit car sick, so he had to take down the stream and lie down for a bit.
So it looks like Steve got the condition of angry. What do you think pissed him off? What was he mad about?
I'm going to say that it's probably the vehicle that we ended up with, realizing, like it's the crappy one out of our fleet of 3 cars.
Your fleet of 3 cars. And you have the crappy one. That's perfect.
It might not have helped that I, kept wanting to check out like other things along the way.
Yeah.
So you've headed up to the northern part of the city where Sector 10 is located. Sector 10 was, at one point, Danny, you know that it was a primo place to work. The office used to be a smack house. So there was lots and lots of room, and you didn't have to clean up. But then the office was overrun. There was a breach in the wall, and the office itself, the smack house, was literally like feet away from the wall. And so the breach, everything just kind of ran through the office. They put up a brave fight, but things didn't go well for the team. And it took a while for some cleanup. You got some OT that week because they reached out to all the other offices, and there were even border guards from the wall. The wall guards came off the wall, some of them, and mingled on the streets, but mostly they stay up with their sniper rifles and just picked off zombies, things that look like zombies, that kind of stuff. They're the eye in the sky for you guys. So you guys pull up in the truck, the crappiest truck. It's like an old Nissan pre Z-Day truck. Does not get very good mileage, and it's I think it maybe the suspension's a little off, Josh. So that's why you got a little car sick. I mean, it obviously was something to do with that vehicle. You've never gotten car sick. You're way too cool for that. You see that the office itself, all the windows are boarded up, and there are police line do not cross strips that kind of circle around it. You see that the wall itself has been patched, of course. And as you guys pull up, you see that there are a couple of figures way up 80 feet high on the wall itself is thick enough for the wall guard to just walk along the tops. And, they have their totally boss looking gigantic sniper guns, and they're wearing fatigues and body armor and all that good stuff. You guys are in coveralls with a shotgun and a trench knife and a few other things that you got because that's your resource pool. The itemized list that you have from Oscar from the ticket he had opened 3 weeks ago lists some R&D paraphernalia that looks the pictures that he has taken of items from various places like the internal company catalog. One of the items is effectively like some kind of centrifuge, which is super expensive. And if you were to try to sell that on the black market, because there is a black market, you would make tens of thousands of dollars, which is exactly why Walter hasn't approved any of Oscar's attempts to get a centrifuge. So the building itself is 3 stories. It's kind of a brownstone construction. Again, maybe before it was a smack house, it was actually apartments of some kind, pretty open floor plans. And their parking was okay. They've erected some fences to keep random people from walking into the building, but you guys can get in easy enough if you want. What's the plan? What do you do?
Not sure who's taking the initiative.
Yeah. So it's morning time. Like, how crowded is this area? Like, how many civilians and such are there here?
This area of Sector 10 is a bit of a blight. So it's a food desert. There are no convenience stores, no restaurants. It is pretty abandoned. You pass by a few people that were, one guy was pushing a shopping cart. You think that there might be some people in the building across the street from you, just from seeing shadows in the windows, but nobody's out on the street around here. Too close to the wall. Rent is cheap here.
I could probably be living here.
Yeah, but the commute would be a killer.
Sure.
This was like an hour drive in city traffic, so. So you guys pull up, park, and just imagine that the overall look of this place is slightly run down. Buildings were built in like the 40s to the 50s. Everything's in like the 7 to 10 story range. So there's a lot of shadows where you are. But there's also been devastation. Like one building is half standing and it looks like the wall was, they tore down one of the buildings a half block from here to build the wall past it, and they never bothered to deal with the rubble. And as far as threats, there are no zombies walking around outside here.
Do we have a floor plan of the base by any chance?
If you want to spend a resource pool, you do. Just an FYI, you can spend resource pool for things. You can volunteer it. Like, I have so-and-so, and it'll be a resource pool spend. You can also burn resource pool to give yourself a +1 on a roll. And occasionally you may say, can I have so-and-so thing? And I'll say yes. Or do I have so-and-so thing? And I'll say yes, but it costs a resource pool.
I don't think I could justify a building map from watching zombie sharks. Are they real?
It's true.
Okay, bros, are we going in or what?
Sounds good. I'll try to park near, for like, there's any like storefront. I'll try to park in front of that so we can kind of hopefully have an extra set of eyes watch our truck while we go check this out. This looks like a bad neighborhood.
Okay. We'll say that there's an Ace Hardware.
Oh,
that
perfect.
Is within viewing distance of the building, and you just park there and assume that they'll watch it. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So you guys walk across the street. Again, not much traffic, so easy enough. Cross the street, hop up onto the sidewalk, and you know what? I'll be nice. You have wire cutters to pop open the fence. Won't even cost you a resource point. So you can pop open the gate, click your way through the barbed wire fence that they had thrown up hastily from a month and a half ago. And what's the plan? You would go right in the front door, try to find some other way to get inside, climb up and go in via a window.
Yeah, Danny, what's the play here?
Yeah, front door sounds fine to me. I mean, this place is already, more or less officially. This was already officially cleared out, right?
Officially, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Sweet. So you walk up to the front door. Hey, it's locked. You're not provided with a key unless you want to spend a resource point.
Josh is like mounting his GoPro camera on the shotgun and trying to get something working so he can have a hold his selfie stick or like tape it to the shotgun so he can have his face in view as well. Do
Nice.
like picture-in-picture things. But he's busy with that while and leaving the door to the gallery.
I mean, is this a thing where maybe Steve's read about this?
I was thinking like maybe he has because of this work that he's read up on lockpicking, locksmithing.
Nice. Okay. Well, then you might know something about this because of your education or interest. So roll plus sharp. Oh, why do you know about lockpicking? What is it that Steve offers up as his story when you roll plus sharp?
Oh, it's because of when he lived in the dorms and he acquired a set of the janitor keys and got access to the stairwell leading to the roof, but didn't have the key to the roof. So he spent several weeks picking the lock to the roof and then other doors across campus.
Cool. Roll plus cool. Sharp. Roll plus sharp. Sorry about that. Your sharp's a 2, so you're pretty good at this.
Let me see.
Should we clear dice?
I guess so. It won't let me roll otherwise.
Okay. All right. Clear dice. Go ahead and roll 2 fresh dice.
Boom!
Oh! Snake eyes. So sadly, it's not XP on a miss, but I get a move, so there's that thing. Don't forget your keys, friends, by the way. I think we've been on the doorstep of Josh bragging to get Key of Fame. Let's make sure. Push that just a little bit more. So you start to work on you don't have lockpicks though, right? But you got some stuff and you start trying to work on the lock when something hits the door on the other side and you hear there's something on the other side there.
How long ago was this this place cleared? A month ago?
Oh yeah, well, month, 6 weeks.
Probably not a stray dog on the other side, guys.
What do? Oh, by the way, you think you got the lock. You just open the door right up.
You guys ready?
Yeah. Do we want to like just crack a few shots through the door? How thick is the door? Do you think we could blast through, like literally blast through it?
Yeah, you could totally blast through that door.
Yeah. I can't
It's
imagine.
not a fire door. This is like a thick wooden door, but yeah, you could.
I can't imagine whatever's groaning on the other side could possibly be friendly.
Seems like a really good idea to me. So what you want to do?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So Danny, you pop up your shotgun and
actually we never actually tried to go maybe we should I think before I pull the trigger, I just shout out, all right, if you're a member of our company and you're not a zombie, this is the time to let us know. Or if you're just squatting, just an innocent bystander squatting, this is the time to let us know right now. So we don't shoot anyone we don't want to shoot, because we can shoot, because we're armed. And then I wait to see if there's a response.
That is what you hear.
All right, well, due diligence. Yeah, let's go ahead and shoot through and see what happens.
Yeah, bros, let's blast this door.
Sweet. Oh, by the way, if you, it seems like things are grim, and you made a joke about it there, Danny. If you went to a roll plus cool before you shoot that shotgun,
Yeah, I was wondering what constituted a grim situation, but
I
I'll
think this
happily.
is grim. You know that you're about to go into a place that has at least a zombie.
Yeah, let me delete and get some new dice in here, and we'll see what happens. And I'll make them pink. And here we go. So I roll plus cool. The roll is 6. The cool is plus 1. So
One.
I've got
Oh,
a 7.
nice. You made it. Cool. So, literally cool. On a 7 to 9, you choose 1. You can clear a condition. All friends that laugh at the joke clear a condition.
Here's a question. Was that was my friends? Do you mean players or characters?
Characters.
Okay, because I thought it could. I could
Because-
have seen it goes for either way.
Oh, yeah, it's players. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Friends, we should probably touch up that verbiage. It's if character or player laughed. Like if player says, "Oh yeah, my character probably would have laughed at that." That can count.
Okay. And again, I'm going back to the move list. Oh no, that's a character move.
Right, your character moves are not affected by conditions.
Yes. So I can clear. Okay. Yeah, I'll clear tired and wake myself up.
All right,
If
there you
if I'm
go.
awake enough to be cracking jokes, I'm awake enough, I guess. So yeah, awesome.
Sweet. So you clear that condition. You fire the gun. Hey, guess what? There's no basic moves for shooting open a door.
No.
You shoot whatever is on the other side of the door.
Okay.
And a little bit of light pours in. You can see the like motes of dust in the air, and you hear movement, but you hit that thing. Like it knocked it to the ground. You're not sure if you killed it. Oh wait, no, you didn't kill it. It's slowly moving, starting to get up.
Oh.
There are others coming this way. Hey, that shotgun was real loud. What are you guys gonna do?
Yeah, we didn't requisition silencers.
I don't think there are silencers for shotguns. Not these shotguns.
Yeah.
Maybe border patrol. Yeah, maybe border guard has some, or wall guard. I keep saying border.
All right. But they're probably just watching us and laughing, if anything. I mean, they're probably not. It's probably not in their. I'm going to assume it's not in their. They're not inclined to interfere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Figures.
We cut up to the wall.
Hey, Tom, come on over here. Check this out. Yeah, they're Sector 10, the building. Oh shit, this is gonna be good.
Figures. Yeah. What do y'all say? Do we take them out here? At least in the doorway, there's there. Maybe it could be a good what do you call those things where you can pinch them together and they can't like surround you?
If you wanted to, if someone wants to basically be here to draw whatever there are, you can act as bait. You can try to draw these guys out. It could be very beneficial. They're pretty dumb. These zombies are not like 30 days later, super fast rage zombies.
Oh, good.
They're generally slow moving, the ones that you see. Now, your employee handbook on the undead, there are others. Like, there are ferals, but no one's seen a feral in town in a while. Does someone want to act as bait?
Honestly, that might be that. Yeah, I might. That's probably a good idea. Who among us wants to do that shit?
Probably not me. I get a -2 from being sick. So.
Too bad, because you're the toughest of the bunch. But yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise,
honestly, I feel like acting as bait would be a good thing for Danny, just because it's like so passive. You don't really have to do anything.
It's true.
I'm not good at it, but it does kind of fit his work ethic.
Sweet. All right. When you put yourself in danger to set up a coworker, roll plus tough. Your tough is 0. So if you want to burn a resource pool for this, you can.
Oh, do I have to make the decision before I roll?
No, you can make it after.
Good. I like it when I hear when rules say that. It's always one of my pet peeves. Having to make the call to spend the bennies before the roll.
Mhm.
Here comes the roll.
That's good feedback.
Yeah. Oh, well, see, now here I've rolled a 5. That's not good. Now, I would have to, if I wanted to take myself out of failure mode, I would have to boost that up by 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Which would require 2 resources. Now, the resources are something we as a group need to agree on. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you, so I ask my teammates, are we inclined to blow? Now, I could supply 1 point from my video training, because it's pretty easy to imagine that watching zombie sharks are they real could have taught me something about making yourself bait. Because I'm sure that movie is all, I assume that training video was all about making yourself bait by like sticking yourself in a one of those water cages, and
Obviously.
so I can front 1 from my work if y'all would see fit to drop a 2nd point, or maybe decide that maybe a 2-point expenditure on this isn't worth it, and just let me take the hit. We are just beginning our mission. Might be a little, because we have like what, 3 points now?
Yeah, the resource pool.
Yeah, taking us down to 1 point at this point. I could see the point where I could see a case for maybe this is too early to take us down to 1 point, and just let the slacker take his lumps. I wouldn't take it personally if you decide to make that call.
Either way, if you want to spend the resources, it's fine with me.
Yeah, I think so too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All
Okay.
right.
I'll do that thing then.
Okay,
Or
I've
just,
moved your resource pool. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I just thought you had watched those shark videos, and I maybe got like riot shield from the other team, so that you can use to like protect yourself while you're drawing them to you.
A riot shield. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Sweet. So you push it to a 7.
Okay.
17.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
But did you spend another point to give us a riot shield, or?
That's fine. Kind of the excuse of the extra to give you the bonus to where you don't get bitten is that riot shield.
Oh, okay, so the 2 points are me not failing, and also the riot shield, because the riot shield is the reason I didn't fail.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, I'm cowering behind that, and now I've got a 7.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, you can give a coworker a +1 forward, and you've effectively you're drawing all of them out of the building. By the way, into the city streets. There are a dozen of them. Many of them are wearing coveralls that you recognize.
Unfortunately, not a lot of there were not a lot of bystanders before. I hope that's still the case.
There were not a lot of bystanders before. There was this guy at Ace Hardware, but he's got a job to do. So you take +1 forward and act as bait with a 7 to 9, but you have to choose one. You underestimated the danger. You're drawn away from your escape route. You're doing something that's specifically against company guidelines, or you have to spend the last of the resource pool because there's only one left. Which option do you want?
Yeah, so I definitely feel like I underestimated the danger. Yes.
Cool.
And do I give a +1 forward to someone else, or do I
to someone else? Yeah, you're setting up so they can, Steve and Josh, these zombies are completely focused on Danny. The good news is, right, that there's still a fence. So if you can get on the other side of that fence, Danny, you can escape. You can, they will try to go through the fence, but then they're effectively bottlenecked. So it's not the worst situation you've ever been in. It's not the best.
Right.
Steve, Josh, you guys can leave Danny to his hard work as bait. And
I feel like I'd give the +1 to Josh.
Okay.
Because he's the tough guy, and he's also the one who gave me the riot shield.
That makes sense. So keep in mind, Josh, you've got a +1 forward here. So Deuces, do you want to try to open the back door, side door, climb up and go through a window? How do you want to try to get in while these zombies who were drawn out by Danny are distracted?
I think going through the side door sounds good.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet. Give me a when all else fails move to see. You're going to do something risky, like you're going in here, opening up the side door. You get to roll plus cool.
Hey, it's not a 2.
Yeah, it's not a 2. It looks like a 9, and your cool's a 1, so that's a 10.
Sweet.
That is awesome. On a 10 plus, you do it. So you head down to the side door, check it out. You work your little lock of magic, pops right open. This one is actually like a metal fire door. It was installed later when they converted this to a working office. You come in. The side door is actually like down. It's one of those like half set of stairs side door type deals. So you're actually coming in the basement level. You see the showers, the lockers. It's very dark here. You guys have flashlights or your phone, right? Whatever. You can see that this was the area where their extermination teams, they had 3 teams here in Sector 10, where the extermination teams had their lockers, and there was actually a lounge, which is kind of cool. There's a nice little flat screen TV there. You guys don't even know how you don't have a lounge. You don't have a flat screen TV. Sector 10 had it going on. But you don't see any zombies. They must, whatever ones were around must have been drawn away by Danny. What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's check out here and see if there's any indication here of what we're after.
Cool. Take it all in is when you figure out what the deal is with a situation or person. Who'd like to roll the take it all in?
Oh,
Steve or Josh?
Josh, you want to do that?
No, you go ahead. Or should I roll it? I don't know. I do. I have plus.
You have a plus
right.
1 forward. You're a 0 on weird, but you have
Yeah.
a plus 1 forward right now. Do you want
Sure.
somebody to roll for you?
No, I actually got in, so I can roll.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So I'll roll that now.
Okay.
That's a 9 on the die. So a 10 then.
Awesome.
All right.
That is spectacular. On a 10 plus, you get to hold 2. You can spend your hold now or later to ask questions and take plus 1 forward when you act on the answer.
Yeah, so we're sneaking in, and Josh is like he's narrating what they're doing the whole time for the stream.
That's awesome.
And I think were we specifically looking for this centrifuge thing?
Yeah, that's the big ticket item.
Yeah, so I guess one question is, where do we think we can find that?
Oh, great. So the one question you have, it's been one of your 2 hold. Where do you think this thing would be? You know, looking at the layout here for the basement, that it's obviously not here. You realize that the company is not super variable in their layouts of offices. So it's probably on the 3rd floor, just like Oscar's. So all you have to do is head up a couple sets of stairs, and as long as Danny's drawn out all the Walking Dead, then you should be good to go. You get a plus 1 forward on that. If you want to lead the way, Josh, you can do that.
Sure.
But you're risking infection. So you get a plus 1 forward by acting on this answer as you're narrating and kind of drawing any attention of anything that could be here that didn't go after Danny. But go ahead and risk infection. That's one of our basic moves.
Yeah. So
it is down on row 84.
Yeah. Does this count as using my it's probably not broken move?
Absolutely. This is a pretty crazy stunt. You're narrating your progress and filming yourself facing a threat here. So you get +1 forward on that. And you're acting on the answer that I had given you from your +2. This is fine. It's roll flat, but you get those two, the +1 from your move and the +1 from the other move. So I've cleared, and you can just roll 2d6 +2. Good luck.
Yeah. Okay. So 7 + 2 is 9.
Nice.
So, and that's as good as it gets here anyway.
Yeah, on a 7+, you narrowly avoid being bitten. So here's what happens. You head up the first floor, and then you actually, like the long hallway that looks out, you can see the sunlight, you can see the zombies that are still chasing Danny. We'll figure that out in just a moment. And then you head to the, clearly marked stairs, the door to the stairs. When you open it up, there is a zombie that was there that couldn't open up because it looks like the zombie had lost both of its arms. And so it just was kind of leaning against the door. And when you open it up, he falls down and starts to scramble up to bite at you, but move slow. Do you use your trench knife, like, and stab him in the head, or do you shoot him with your shotgun when you take him out, Josh? Because you avoided being bitten there. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, knife, definitely. Like trying to hold the selfie stick so I can show how I'm putting my foot on his neck and stab him in the face. And yeah.
Nice. So yeah, you take that guy out, and you even selfie stick it to where you get in some nice close camera footage, a little blood splat onto the camera. You can see it. You have to wipe that lens down, but it had to look amazing. You can start to charge up the stairs, and we cut outside. So Danny, there are a dozen of these guys, 11 technically, because you did kill the one. They are in the area around the building. They have not gone out of the fence yet. Unless you go out of the fence, then they'll realize there's a hole in the fence. What are you doing with the 11 slow-moving zombies?
I don't suppose I could trick them into just like just running around the perimeter in a circle.
You want to make a run for it?
Well, yeah. I don't want them to get back into the building.
Fair.
So
Okay. And that
I
is a
feel like
risk
I need
there.
to like always be in their line of sight, so I would always be, drawing them out. I
Okay.
don't want to risk them going back in.
That sounds kind of risky, but it's got a bit of a plan. Do something risky that doesn't fall anywhere else in the move. So let's go ahead and have you roll plus cool. So when all else fails.
All right. I still get a +1 for that.
Yeah, you do.
I'm sewing up some pink dice for this, and
2 and a 4. You got +1
7.
from.
I got a 7.
Woo. All right. On when all else fails, on a 7 to 9, you do it, but there's some complication. So I'll give you a choice. You can take a condition from this effort. You can spend. No, that's right. You don't have any. Haha. Yeah, you do. You have one resource. You can spend your last resource pool, or one of the zombies goes out the hole you guys made in the fence. Just one.
I'll take a condition. I will take and I see that there's 2 slots for conditions. Does that mean that once you
can have more than one condition. You can have more than one condition. That's all.
Can you have more
I've
than
even
2
hidden-
conditions? Or
Yeah,
is that-
I've hidden it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
I'll
if that
add-
was a deliberate limitation. Okay.
Well,
Well,
no, deliberate. It's just kind of I was trying to save screen real estate. That's
gotcha.
all.
Sure. I feel like I feel terrified. I think that's a good way of putting it.
Sweet.
Sure.
Sweet. So what is it that we see to know Danny is terrified? Is there something that just the sheer amount of the zombies, or what is it that is terrifying for Danny that we see?
I feel like the reason he slacks is because the more he slacks, the fewer dangerous situations he's in. So I think it's just the general cowardice / life preservation motivation, and the way he copes with that is by slacking. So he would probably manage. I'm sure he's cowering behind the riot shield, because he knows that if he's he's kind of out in the open, and if he gets outflanked, then he's a goner for sure. So, and because he's probably not he's not the most knowledgeable at this sort of thing. Although he does also have, he is armed though, so he's got that. So he might have like the shotgun over the, like, resting
Nice.
on the right
So
shield.
he's fighting, he's getting tired, but it's obvious that this is a lot of work and it's a lot more than he kind of signed up for this morning when he.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all that extra work on training on video games, it's a tax write-off, but it doesn't quite prepare you as much as you'd like. Deuces, you lead Josh as Josh narrates your experience of coming up into the terrifying Sector 10 office, and sure enough, you see the Oppendorf Centrifuge 5804. You have to shine your flashlight on it. The thing, I mean, it's basically like a giant toilet. It weighs about 40 pounds. There's other stuff here you could take, but that's the mega load. There's no way whoever is carrying that centrifuge can easily fight zombies. What do you do?
I'll point out to Josh, like, here's the centrifuge for sure. And look around and see if there's something else that's valuable that we could put into it so we can sort of combo carry.
Ooh, nice. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Sweet. Let's say that, you can grab up some other supplies. This is the R&D place, right? So there's probably like a taser of some kind, a few other weird little devices. Nobody's like got any money. There's a laptop, but no one stores money, right? And there's, of course, this cute little calendar with like the cat, the hang in there, That's probably not something I throw on this.
So like vinyl pop kind of stuff that's on somebody's desk.
Oh, it's a bunch of pop figures. Yeah, totally pop figure for sure. There's like a LeBron James, zombie LeBron James vinyl pop figure. Yes, you can grab all that stuff and throw it in the little centrifuge container there. Shut it. You hear shotgun blasts in the from outside. Who's carrying it? You got to trust your teammate, because you're not going to be very effective fighting zombies, because you got.
Yeah, I'll carry it, and I'll rely on Josh to get us out of here.
Always a wise move.
Sweet.
No, I know he won't let his followers down.
Nice. So Josh, do you lead the way, or do you have Deuces go ahead and then cover us back?
I lead the way. I mean, he'd block the shot for my shotgun camera. I can't have that.
Sweet. So you guys, with Josh leading the way, narrating all the way, light along the stairwell as you're heading downstairs. You come out and you guys can go back down to the basement and out the side door, or just out the front door that Danny left wide open when he was drawing those guys out. Josh, you're leading the way. So which way do you lead Deuces?
Just out the front door. There's no point in going down to the basement just to go up again. I mean, Danny's got it under control. It's fine.
Like Steve isn't really, like, Deuces isn't going to push this, but he sort of says, I think I saw a microwave down in that lobby we could probably snag.
Oh, man. If I were there, I'd totally be for getting the microwave.
Like, I'm just saying, Josh, next time you have to reheat a burrito,
you'll remember.
You'll thank me.
Yeah, I'm definitely grabbing a microwave.
So Josh, are you letting Deuces basically walk outside while you double back, or like Steve, would you go outside while holding this centrifuge, knowing that Danny has at least 4 or 5 zombies? Okay, so you're just kind of hanging out here in one of the side rooms, like a conference room.
Yeah, I would try to like follow him down, but not like if I can go halfway down the stairs to the conference room or lobby or whatever it was, then then Steve will try to do that. And a little bit of like things will be so good if we get this microwave. Come on.
You're not wrong. Cool. So, Josh, you head into the break room area. You see they've got a really nice fridge, except for the whole like brain matter that's splattered against it from the dead zombie that evidently was taken out at some point. Sure enough, it doesn't match the color scheme of your office. It's like black and everything's kind of like an off-white or an ecru at your office. So it's definitely going to stand out, but there's a really nice, it's even got the popcorn button. Good stuff. Does not smell like fish at all. It's got express cook. It's got defrost. It's good. So you grab that microwave, unplug it, and start to head out. Danny, it has been several minutes. They've abandoned you. They're probably dead. This mission is a wash.
Ooh.
I mean, that's probably what you're thinking, right? I mean, you're a slacker, so I would imagine. What do you do?
Well,
you've killed like 5 of these things, but there's still at least 5 or 6 left. I'm going to say that like you're kind of riding like shoulder sliding along the fence, trying to back away and keep them out of your distance. You've effectively done like a full half circle of the entire fenced in area, kind of near the wall. You can see the shadow of the wall, and there are a couple of wall guards who are kind of leaning over, got their hands on handrails, right? And they're just leaning over and watching you. They got helmets on, right? So you can't really read their expressions, but they're probably laughing.
We don't have comms to keep in touch with one another.
I don't know. You want to spend that last resource point? You can have comms. Like a headset?
Yeah, I feel like I would like to do that. If it's all the same, I'll just call in for the guys and say ask if y'all are there. What's the status going on?
Hey Danny, hey, thanks for checking in. We're on the way out.
Okay, that's good. Phew.
We're grabbing their microwave. We're almost out.
You found a microwave? Oh,
Yeah, it's got the popcorn button and everything.
oh,
It's gonna be awesome.
what's the smell? I mean, what's the lingering odor? What's the stitch on that?
Sorry.
Does it have like a? Did you try it out? Does it actually work?
I don't know, man.
Oh boy.
Don't have
Okay.
time for that now.
All right. Well, yeah, I've still got about 5. I've still got 5 of the critters out here, and I think I recognize one of them from last year's holiday party.
Oh, bummer, man.
Totally made out with her.
Yeah, she was a good kisser, man. Okay. Anyway,
And Deuces and Josh, you guys are like coming out the front door. You see Danny around the corner. Danny, you kind of like these guys are obscuring the view. By these guys, I mean the zombies, but you can see, Deuces has this big centrifuge thing that he's carrying, and then Josh comes out after it with this like jet black, sleek looking microwave.
oh.
You guys could set the stuff down and go help him clear out the rest of the zombies, or you can just carry it out to the truck, but then you got to go across the street and all that stuff. Steve, what do you guys do? You going to set the stuff down and then go help out with the zombies, or put the stuff in the truck first, then come back and help them?
We're pretty ways away, so I think maybe set it outside the fence and then.
Wait, then anyone could grab those things.
There weren't that many people around
Yeah,
earlier.
that's true. Those fuckers up on the wall might. They've been
All
on
right.
this all day.
Sweet.
PG-13 gives us 1 F-bomb, doesn't it?
It does. We just used it there.
Yeah, and I think as long as it doesn't refer to like the actual act of copulation, I think that's the other stipulation.
It is. I like it.
That's what I always assumed.
Awesome. So we're gonna say Deuces, Josh, you guys drop the centrifuge and the microwave right on the other side of the fence, rush back in to help Danny. Danny, you're getting help from two people. I want to go ahead and take on a horde or big bad. So you battle the living dead or their associates. Do you figure out how you do it? You get a +1 from two teammates helping you, but you've got to tell me how it is that you guys clear out the last of the zombies here with this horde.
Yeah, I think haphazard is definitely, I mean, it's convenient because it relies on the weird attribute, but at the same time, it is how we do it.
Okay.
So,
all right, roll plus weird +2 from the help. So that means you're effectively, the max you can roll is a +3. So roll 2d6 +3.
all right. And here we go. Oh boy. Excellent. So I rolled a 3, and then +2 is a 5. I've spent the last point so I could talk to my coworkers. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't think I have a way to boost that. I think I'm gonna have to just take my list.
Sweet. One of your teammates. So on a 6-, the GM gets to choose 1 or 2 options from the 7 to 9 list, and will almost certainly also make things worse.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna say that you need to mark a condition, Danny, because they left you hanging for a little while and things got really hairy. So I'll unhide. Oh no, you only have 1 right now because you cleared out the 1. And then you get to tell one of your 2 teammates to mark a condition as well, because they got caught up in the fray putting down the last of these few zombies before you guys were done. So you get to tell one of either Josh or Deuces to mark a condition.
I'm already terrified. What's possessed? Is that something I can only? I assume that's
like
something
a ghost possessed.
Yeah.
Like a ghost has possessed you. It means that you have a condition where a ghost is in your head and talking to you, and occasionally can take you over.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, angry is definitely a good option, but I also feel like since this is
no, you don't tell them the condition. You just tell whichever player they have to mark a condition. They can choose which condition.
Oh, okay. I thought I had to choose.
No, your choice is: do you want it to go to Josh or to Deuces?
Oh, I see. Sorry.
It's
Yeah. Who's more likely to get? I think there's Thrill Seeker is going to be more likely to do something that would, because he is a Thrill Seeker. I feel like he's the one who's likely to do something that would invoke a condition upon him.
Nice. So, Josh, you get to mark a condition.
Yeah, I think it's either injured or tired, I guess.
Ooh, like twisting an ankle maybe, or all this effort and carrying the microwave and everything, you're just a little pooped.
Yeah, tired.
You've been up since 6, dude. It's already lunchtime. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you take out the last of these zombies, and you think you finished a job. So now you get to clean up the big mess you've made. Pick a person from the team to roll unused resource pool,
which is 0.
So Deuces, you pick a person to roll flat on 2d6.
Okay. I'm gonna pick.
You can pick yourself if you want.
I'll pick Josh.
All right, Josh, roll 2d6.
I will do that thing right now. 7.
All right, we're looking at the cleanup rules on F column. On a 7 to 9, choose one from the list above. Either you find something valuable while cleaning up. Don't worry, you don't have to choose the microwave. You've got it. You earned it. So you find something valuable, everyone gets an XP, or you learn something about the threat you faced. The 7 to 9, you also have to choose from the list below. I recommend we don't do something as alive in the mess fight, because I was trying to end a little bit on the early side. So there's a possibility of big trouble back at the office. So probably, if you're okay with it, we'll just do that.
I think the thing that makes sense for me here is just everyone gets 1 XP. We did it. We worked together quite well. So
I agree. So everybody gets to mark an XP. I gotta say, as we look through the keys, you did not take the easy way much at all, Danny. You took the hard way a bunch.
Yeah, I suppose I did, didn't I?
So you guys, you finish off these zombies. You go back outside the fence, and you grab the microwave and the centrifuge, run across the street, put it in the back of the truck, drive back, and when you get back to the office, Darla and Izzy are showing everyone on their phones the video footage of Danny running. It's like really high up footage, like a drone or something, of Danny like running away and some like things he says. He's a little terrified at some point. Like the audio is real good. But yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
I was talking about my hookup with my zombie hookup, my pre-zombie hookup.
They caught that. And it's it's getting a lot of views. So that is your trouble at the office there. Is that there's going to be some ongoing jokes along those lines. So you guys are done for the day, and we hit the last move, which is off the clock. When you're done with your job for the day, relaxing, shooting the shit with your coworkers, you can clear one condition if you describe how you're dealing with it. So all I want is just effectively like an epilogue for any point, but also we'll roll it into that move to say how you're relieving a condition. We'll start with Josh and go left on the character keeper. So Josh, you're sick and you're tired. You're sick and tired. You get to cure one of those.
Tired of this everything. Oh, actually, I think Josh is quite happy about this day. He got to flex a bit and he got to kill some zombies. It's been awesome. I think he's just hanging around the office, talking to people. I mean, he is, even if he's overconfident and kind of obnoxious, he's also a rather charming guy. So he's just taking it easy, clearing that tired by not working too hard.
Nice. All right. Yeah, you end up maybe heading out to the bar with the other extermination team and whoever from your team wants to come along.
Mm-hmm.
Darla gives you wide berth, but Lee seems cool with you. Yeah. All right, cool. What about Steve? How do you, when you're off the clock, how do you relieve that angry condition? What do we see you doing?
I think Steve would definitely be like going out with coworkers to get a drink after work. But I think also sort of trying to walking out with maybe Molly or something and sort of complaining about the vehicle and how it needs some work done on it, and insinuating some paperwork needs to be filled out to do some repairs on that suspension that causes some issues.
Your man Josh got sick. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Sweet. So you can Molly is very comforting and soothing. She slides into her HR role, and yeah, she offers to help you grease the wheels to get that suspension worked on. She'll fill out a work order, and that seems genuine. So you can go ahead and clear that condition. And then Danny, what do we see for you resolving your terrified condition?
I feel like Danny may just be so petty and I don't know, simple-minded is the way of looking at it, but that as soon as the embarrassing office video started making the rounds, like he would have forgotten about the fact that he almost just gotten killed and just be completely obsessed with mitigating his embarrassment at what he was basically, because I'm sure he talked some. He must have talked some nonsense about Molly because she's my enemy, and that can only make my job, my life in the company all the harder. And yeah, I think I feel like that might be how I clear the terrified, just because I'm so distracted by by this other challenge, as petty and ridiculous as it may be and small in the long term. To Danny is like kind of everything.
Nice. Cool. So that's the full cycle of play. We got all the way through a job. We got to see the after effects, the migration of conditions, infection was even at risk at one point. So hopefully you guys didn't like. The only thing I would say missing wise is that like our keys, we didn't really engage in keys a whole lot. That's one that I probably could have nudged you guys towards a little bit more. So as I said, I want to stop a little bit on the early side to get some feedback. And if you guys can take a few moments just to think about this experience. And let's just, oh, it's harsh, but I'm going to ask for like thorns. What thorns did you have for working stiffs? And I asked for thorns because it's a play test, and so I'm very open to feedback. I myself feel like there's a couple moves that could be touched up, and the overqualified second place move overlaps with key competitor to create something that could be a little on the toxic side, a little too much. So I think that's really astute, that feedback that I just stole from you, Norwood. And there was a question about making friends laugh that I think we can clear up the language on that one. That was from the Slacker moves. So who'd like to go first in offering up thorns? Just as a reminder, friends, I am the son of a Marine Corps sergeant who became a high school principal. I have a very thick skin. Don't listen to Norwood. He'll say that I'm a big touchy baby. Just listen to my story. It's way cooler. So who'd like to offer me some thorns?
I took a couple of notes.
Oh, good. Thank you.
And one was that I feel like the access bait move is, the benefit is pretty weak for the risk you take. Because a +1 to a roll, that's not a lot. And making a roll to give someone a +1, it feels risky. And especially if you end up with a 7 to 9, you must spend 1 from the resource pool. You could have spent 1 from the resource pool, just get the +1.
That's a really good point. I think that's just a thing we hadn't picked up from. I started flexing around the resource pool to give +1s, but didn't circle back around to that.
Yeah. So I like the move. I like having that. It's a great thing to have. But I feel like the benefit should be bigger for the risk you take. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a really good note. What else did you have, Anders?
There was one thing I feel like, and I don't, this is just an idea, and I don't know, I haven't thought this through, I haven't worked on the game, so I'm just throwing it out there. But with the conditions, since the conditions can give you a bonus to a move, it feels like it could maybe be an interesting idea that if you've just missed the roll, you could take the condition to get that +1 afterwards to, push up a 6 to a 7 in exchange for taking the condition. But I don't know if it works because the condition has to work with fiction and everything. So, but it was just something that popped up in my head. Otherwise, I think the moves are, the feel of the moves is right. Probably, I don't have any specific feedback on any of the other moves. I think they're all interesting, they're thematic, but moves, you always build things around and work. But I don't have anything, there's nothing else. I feel like all of them are aimed at the right thing, and then maybe you have to work on them to just hone in on the exact thing.
Cool.
That's what I've got.
Thank you, Anders. So Chris or Mike?
Just going over the the move descriptions now. I think the one thing I would suggest is maybe there should be more opportunities for infection. I don't know if that's just something that's could be adjusted by just game master preference. But I feel like I didn't really feel like I think there was only one time when we had to when someone had to make a roll, and I feel like that could be that that probably should be increased just to match the mood of the genre.
Okay.
Like I was just looking over the take on a horde or big bag or big bag thing. Excuse me, big bad move, and even there, I'm not really seeing an option that could lead to infection. It could lead to a condition, but
yeah, it doesn't specifically say that condition is infection. It just says a condition. So
yeah. So in fact, what you mentioned earlier about the fact that there's no limit on the number of conditions you could have. To me, I feel like maybe there should be a limit, like maybe one or even two or even one, that there should be a hard limit. That might make the chance of risking infection more likely because, maybe you could have a rule where if you don't have a condition slot available, then you just move on to it. Well, no, there would have to be a move in which there are zombies around to infect in the first place.
That's an interesting thought though, Mike. I'm definitely going to chat with Jesse about that if we think that there should be a limit on infections or a kind of like there's a certain number of conditions you can have, not infections, conditions. There's a max number of conditions you can have in like masks, but there's also less of them, right? There's significantly more here. That's definitely worth thinking about. That's a good suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe my biggest feedback there. Maybe I'm trying to remember there were specific things I had come across. I know generally for me, I'm not crazy about keys in general because I always find myself having a hard time keeping track of them, but I think they're pretty popular overall in the PBTA community. Does that match everyone else's understanding of what people think about keys in general?
Yeah, that's been my experience.
Okay. But anyway,
still good feedback though, Mike. I think, XP on a miss is what we had talked about, but then we were a little enamored with only 3 XP to advance, keys, and then the possibility of getting XP as your cleanup move.
Oh, that's true.
Should be a pretty clean way, but that's still. I felt it missing in this game. Like the keys didn't drive play like I would want. So I think that's good feedback.
Yeah, and finally, I think it'll be useful to have some examples of equipment that you could get for resource points. Maybe just like the basics, like armor, because that could also define the world. Like, is there such a thing as disinfectant for zombie bites, or armor, or
disinfectant for zombie bites? I'm writing that down. That's great.
I mean, because if anything, that would kind of free up the game master to make things even deadlier and bring on even more opportunities for zombie bites. But that's just another straight thought. But I think those are the main things I have for right now.
Cool.
That could be a great move actually. When you apply disinfectant to a zombie bite and roll, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you don't know right now.
Cool. That's good. Chris.
So for me, like it seemed like when I rolled for the resource pool, and you mentioned like the quality for the vehicle, and you're like, this might come back up later. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. I think I did mention.
Right. And so I was thinking about that more because I don't think it really did come back up later, but I thought that would be something kind of neat if there was some sort of tracking of that, and maybe even sort of like the conditions where, like you could push that off on the players to be like, oh, like you just have this generic resource pool, but you have this list of conditions as well for that. So if the players were to call on that condition to use that point, something, I don't know what that something would be, but that might be an interesting sort of narrative tag to put in.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'll give that a think.
Yeah, I thought of another thing. I thought that I feel like the one moment where everything could have pivoted from good to like tragically bad was the point where he had played up Danny's fear of having been abandoned or being alone. And I wonder if there might be a condition for demoralized to kind of build that into the mechanics. And I was able to work out that by acquiring some a headset to establish a line of communication, but that weren't there. I think it would have been a really interesting dilemma if I had to decide whether I just wanted to like cut and run, and maybe that could be reflected in somehow by a condition to represent them mechanically. Because morale's got to be a massive thing of this kind of endeavor. It's got to be a massive kind of concern or resource or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was kind of pushing towards a little bit of the slacker, like personality archetype as well as a potential key, but yeah, a demoralized condition that could be more broadly applied. That's good. Okay, cool. We're nearing into time, so really appreciate you guys giving this a shot. Your feedback was really, really helpful. And I really enjoyed playing with you guys. So thank you all so much.
I enjoyed it too. I'm excited for this game.
Good.
One thing, I guess the one positive feedback I could provide is that the world building at the beginning seemed really easy to incorporate into our gameplay. I know a lot of times there are games where you do all this world building and it never really comes up, but having a very crystal clear envisionment of our crappy work environment was very easy to implement in the game. Good. We made a point to secure secure the microwave and stuff like that.
God, that was so good.
Yeah,
I really liked how that choice came back into fiction and you guys drove for it. It was awesome. That was really, really cool.
Yeah, and then there's the note I put in the comments about suggestions for book art. Oh yeah, I just wrote that. When you're describing when Molly was describing the healthcare.
Oh, the pamphlet, yeah.
So I thought it'd be fun to include like a little excerpt from that pamphlet. I was starting envisioning what that pamphlet looked like, and just the fact that like all corporate communications always include like plenty of stock photos of like the stock models,
so much
with a very precise balance of diversity. And with all big smiling faces, and I just thought it'd be funny seeing like an image, like I don't know, like a very nice clean cut person in a wheelchair, staking a zombie in the brain. With a big smile on their face.
On point. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna bring the stream to a close. Thank you guys again so much.